Hey, this is Roy Snyder. We're back with another podcast of All About Nothing, and today we are talking strength, strategy, MMA, and therapy. And we are here with.
Hi, bro. My name is Amin. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having you all.
No problem. So, tell everybody what you do, Lionheart therapy.
So, Lionheart therapy, we do a mix of strength training, massage therapy for recovery, and injury assessment. So, pretty much we fix people.
Okay. All right. So, tell us about your journey from you were born in Italy, or
Yeah, so I was born in Poland
okay,
and I grew up in Italy.
okay,
Growing up in Poland, I would play different sports like soccer, uh, get into fights with other kids and stuff like that. Then my family and I we moved to Italy. I was still playing soccer,
Mhm.
still getting to like kind of like not necessarily street fights, but older kids would always they were bigger. They
yeah,
come up to you and try to intimidate you and stuff like that. So I just felt like I wanted to be able to defend myself. So my friend and I we went and looked for a Muay Thai gym and found an MMA gym,
okay.
and that's how I started my MMA journey.
So, the passion for MMA is higher than therapy right now, or
Yes.
equal?
No, MMA it's always for me has been always like my passion.
Okay.
Passion.
All right.
Therapy is more I want to do a great job as a therapist and as a coach. It's still a work. It's still a job as far as but when it comes to MMA, it's like it's a way that I can express myself
Yeah.
and keep myself like grounded.
Okay. How does your deep understanding of the anatomy and physiology help with recovery in MMA or any type of sports matter?
It helps a lot. So when it comes to recovery, uh, one big element is understanding that your body takes time
Mm-hmm.
to adapt to certain stimulus, right?
Okay.
So whether it's like hitting the bag, running, weightlifting, it's gonna take weeks and months for the body to get accustomed to that and change and adapt, adapt to that, right? So I feel like having an understanding of how long it takes for the adaptations to take place, or if you get hurt, how long does it take for a specific injury, whether it's a tendon, a ligament, or a disc to heal,
Yeah.
helps modulate the training sessions and knowing when to push, when to pull back. I feel like understanding anatomy, muscles, strains, and all of that stuff, like for sure helps a lot. Like I said, the biggest thing is like understanding time frames for different type of adaptations. Whether,
Okay.
like I said, with strength, cardio, range of motion.
Okay. What is one thing like fighters overlook? Like I saw one of the fighters here was at a UFC fight over the past weekend. And what is like one of the things like fighters overlook in their recovery?
Again, I think it's that element of adaptation. So a lot of fighters, especially in camp,
Mm-hmm.
all fighters, right? They have the mindset that I need to outwork my opponent. If I'm not training, he's training, right? There's like when I'm sleeping, he's training. So
Yeah.
it's almost like a little bit like it's very obsessive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, what that does sometimes, it's hard to balance it out, and that can lead to injuries or fatigue. So by the time you go into fight night, you can be burned out
Okay.
from your preparation, right? So when it comes to recovery, I think fighters need to understand that recognizing and structuring when to pull back, when to push a little bit harder, right? For example, in fight camp, most fighters are in a caloric deficit. They're trying to lose weight,
Okay.
but they're still keeping the same intensity as if they would be on a full diet, all of
Mhm.
that. So understanding, okay, I'm going to a camp 8 to 8 weeks. I'll be in a caloric deficit, but I also need to push hard. Well, you can't push hard every day. You need to structure your training based on like, hey, today I know Wednesday I'm gonna train hard. Thursday and Friday I'll take it easy. Saturday I'm gonna train hard again. Sunday I'll do something that's gonna help me relax. Because what recovery is like a state of relaxation.
And what is exactly fight camp? So explain to the audience what fight camp is.
So fight camp is when two fighters agree to compete against each other. Let's say for 2 months prior, right? So for 2 months, I'm preparing myself to step into the ring or the cage and compete against another fighter. And both of us are getting ready, both athletically and from a strategic standpoint, to get in there and just do our best.
Okay.
That's what fight camp is, right? So
All right. And what about flexibility?
flexibility is very important,
Yeah.
not just for training, for MMA, but
But for all sports, right?
all sports, especially health in general. As we age, we lose elasticity, we lose flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our muscles, layers of muscles become easier to get strained and pull because there's less gliding. So staying on top of your mobility, flexibility training as the years go by will allow you to have better range of movement, prevent injuries, have less strains or sprains. And when it comes to MMA, being more mobile will help retain and learn
Okay.
techniques faster.
And just to let everybody know, we are here at Binjalani Academy for MMA striking self-defense. So that's what all the noise you hear and the boxing, and we'll get some videos of that once we finish here. So how has working as a therapist shaped like your passion for healing? Because I know like a lot of fighters, a lot of people who play sports, all have injuries. I have injuries when I used to do a lot of triathlons and duathlons. So can you explain that a little bit more, go in depth?
Okay, when it comes to injuries, one element that's big is pain,
Okay.
right? Pain, uh, it will change the way you train.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for s- Again, it depends on the severity of the injury. With chronic pain, people start to develop stress, anxiety. Let's say a fighter in camp, I don't know, like pull dislocates the shoulder or something like hurts the shoulder. That's going to increase stress and anxiety because I can't train as hard right now.
Yeah.
Right? Or so me as a therapist, knowing that I'm not just treating the injury, I need to understand the whole environment around this individual. So because again, there are emotions associated with the injury, right? So managing stress, anxiety.
And also what other things they do besides training. Like for instance, I train in Muay Thai 2 to 3 times a week. I do Pilates, and then I go sometimes for a 5 to 10 mile hike. So I'm always sore and things like that. So it also depends on the injuries or what you're doing to cause that injury as well.
Yes, 100%. 100% of the time, when it comes to injuries, we always want to zoom out.
Yeah.
And like you said, whether you're hiking 5 to 10 miles, you're doing Pilates, Muay Thai twice a week, we are looking from like a eagle's eyes view of, okay, we need to zoom out, see your whole weekly training loading volume, so we know where to make those adjustments. Because most of the time, injuries happen out somewhere in there in the managing the volume.
Okay. And can you share a story or a powerful story of like, oh, I remember this. You hurt your knee.
Yes.
So let's hear that story of like you hurt your knee and then you did your own therapy on your own knee, right?
I'm currently still doing my own therapy, yes.
Okay. And so tell our audience about that.
Yeah, so I hurt my meniscus at MCL during wrestling class. Again, I haven't slept a lot that day, that night. I went into training more fatigued,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up hurting myself. So after that happened, um, this is the first time I actually injured a ligament and cartilage to this severity.
Yeah.
So it's on one end, it's a good opportunity to understand again healing time frames and how long would it take, and it can take up to a year for cartilage to heal unless you decide to get surgery. In that case, it can be like 2 months.
Right.
But for me right now, I decided to do my own therapy, my own rehab. It's going pretty good. I gained 10 pounds of muscle.
Okay.
Okay, not necessarily of muscle, but for sure I gained 10 pounds. I feel stronger. The reason why is because I've been focusing more on like lifting weights, getting stronger. I need to make sure my knee is strong enough to withstand the demands of wrestling, kickboxing, and the only way to do it is through strength training.
Does your history in combat sports, do you bring that to your clients who you see?
100%. So when it comes to accountability and coaching clients through injuries, uh, the same way I get ready for a fight because I want to get in there and win, I bring the same focus when it comes to rehabbing an injury or helping a client, build different attributes, just because their success is going to be my success. So I need to care, I need to invest in them
Mm-hmm.
to help them achieve their goal.
And what is one thing you wish athletes that train of athletics across the board, what is one thing that could do to maintain their longevity?
Planning their training early. So not just training hard when competition is coming
Mm-hmm.
or when you're in season, but knowing exactly how you're gonna train off season, in season. You're planning your breaks. So there's a full structure that you're thinking like, okay, for these next 12 months, that's how I'm gonna train. In this season, I'm gonna do this, and that season I'm gonna focus on that.
Okay.
So we are looking from like again, we are zooming out and looking at the big picture.
And when do you see clients? And what type of clients do you see?
So right now I see a mix of strength clients, massage therapy clients, and injury clients. So those are my main three right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly injuries. Mostly
Okay.
injuries. It can be things I don't know, like hip pain, right? Low back pain, shoulder pain, tendon issues, cartilage issues like I said, meniscus, discs. So we're just trying to troubleshoot these injuries and help people navigate
Okay.
how to train around it, not through that.
Do you see more athletes training hard during the wintertime or the summertime?
I would say during the summertime.
During the
During
summertime?
the summertime. I mean, just because like uh, people get to go outside more. It's hot. There's less resistance to go out and train.
And they're always on the go. They want to be outside. They want to train. They want to be out, enjoy the weather, things like that.
Yeah.
So at Lionheart Therapy, obviously you see multi-latitude of people, clients. What is one thing you want them to take away from your therapy?
To be able to take care of their own body and their own injuries. My goal is to educate them to the best of my abilities.
Okay.
So, well, for example, if you come to me with a tendon issue, I want you to leave knowing exactly what caused the tendon issue, how to rehab it, what the strength goals are, and if it happens again in a different body part, you know exactly. You can think back and you know exactly. Okay, I know what caused it, so I know how to
Okay.
address it next time going forward.
Okay. And so you fight. You do MMA fights, right? So are you getting ready for another one in 2026, or what's your schedule or plan looks like?
So as of right now, I don't have a fight schedule. I gave my name for a card earlier this year, but that I ended up hurting my knee.
Okay.
So right now, my goal is to get strong, improve all of my attributes, strength, cardio, my power. So by the time I decide to go into camp, those attributes are already there. I'm not thinking about building attributes in camp. I'm going into camp with the attributes already there.
Okay. So do you recommend for athletes, no matter if who they are or what type of sports they do you recommend that they continue on this training process of 2-3 days a week, do different things, or just take a break?
Throughout the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say to stay on the process of 2 to 3 times a week with strength training. As far as martial arts or their sport, having planning like deload weeks. I do think it's important to like switch things up every once in a while. So maybe like for 1 month you just step out, and you do something else, and then you come back again, just to kind of like refresh yourself a little bit, so it doesn't become too boring or too much of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that can kind of like take the excitement away of whatever you're doing.
Right. What is deloading? Because I have no idea what that is, but I heard it several times. So we have someone to explain it to us.
So let's say in strength training terms, like let's say you've been training hard for 3 weeks, you're gonna reach a threshold where if you keep going, you're gonna start building nagging injuries, right? Let's say I've been deadlifting heavy for the past 3 weeks. I feel it. So I need to take at least a week off to lower the weight, let my body recover from the stress of training hard for the past 3 weeks. So the fifth week when I come back, I feel fresh.
Okay.
I'm not just keep dipping into my threshold.
Obviously, you do therapy. Do you also get therapy on yourself
Yes.
from someone else?
Yes, I do. So my brother is a therapist as well. In camp, it can go up to us like twice a week.
Okay.
Twice a week of body work. Do my mobility training. I do my own strength training.
I want to go into mobility because you just mentioned it. What is the necessity of mobility with people who are like 40s, 50s, and higher? What is the necessity of mobility? The need?
In terms of
Function.
yes, so as we get older, our joints they go through wear and tear. It's just like a normal aging process. Like every day we are training, we are doing things. So through this process, we will start to lose mobility just because as we're getting older, the cartilage around the joint, right, slowly, starts to wear off. And the only way for us to maintain that is through mobility training, right? Through strength training and mobility training. If throughout time I can maintain my range of motion, my movement, then I'm gonna have better health in the joint,
Okay.
right? So after 50, a lot of time you can see two type of people. You can see someone who's extremely mobile and healthy, and then you can see someone who's like more stiff, less mobile. And that comes down because of how they train or what they've done in the previous 20, 30 years. So you can have two people of the same age looking completely different.
Yeah. I noticed that. I really have. So where can people find you at? We're going to wrap this up. Where can people find you?
So I'm located in Melrose Park in Chicago.
Okay.
I work out of gym called Get Fit Soul. Or if they want, all the people can find me on Instagram through Lionheart Performance Lab. And
So you're on Instagram at Lionheart Performance
Lab. Yes.
Lab. Okay. All right. And they could find you. They could train with you, coach with you, go for therapy with you.
Yes.
Contact him. He'll be there. He'll answer. He'll respond.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming out. You have anything else you want to say?
No, thank you, Will, for having me. I really appreciate you taking the time. And hopefully people can find some of this information useful.
All right. Thanks a lot. And we'll talk to you guys later for All About Nothing.